No, we don't have one. Do you? You don't have one? Generator? Yeah.
Well, I did.
We don't.
Do you want to sing it first, last, way?
I'll do these two songs and then I'll try to get the singing off.
Okay, all right.
Oh Lord, my God, and I in awesome wonder consider all the world thy hands have made. I see the stars, I hear the rolling thunder. I bow to thou. A little bit of a sore throat this morning, but I'm gonna try it anyway. I'm gonna sing this one for Brother Don. I tried doing it on my own. Every time I fail, carefully, every step of the way is true.
What a day that will be when my Jesus I shall see, and I look upon his face, the one who saved me by his grace. And when he takes me by the hand and leads me to the promised land, what a day, glorious day that will be. There'll be no sorrow there, no more burdens to bear, no more sickness, no pain, no more parting over there, and forever I will be with that one who died for me. What a day, glorious day that will be. What a day that will be when my Jesus I shall see, and I look upon his face, the one who saved me by his grace. And when he takes me by the hand and leads me to the promised land, what a day, glorious day that will be. Thank you. Yeah. I watched the video on YouTube, and I cried my eyes out. We're going to be in Matthew 14, by the way. The title of my message today is The Amazing Jesus. Think about that. The amazing Jesus. How amazing is it? We just don't understand. And I want you to understand is God is there when he ain't there.
Amen.
And God is there when he is there. And God is just there all the time. And God cares even when we don't think he cares. And I want to bring an argument up this morning that appears as though Jesus doesn't care, but we know better. Okay? He does care. So it may not look sometimes in this life that God really cares about us when he does care about us. Okay? We're going to get to Texas in a minute, I promise. I'm going to be a little bit late this morning. I got behind starting out, but I'm just going to trust the Lord today. I'm not going to do that. So I'm going to probably not watch the clock. I'm going to probably might try to mind the Lord. This guy gets up, and I don't remember, he was at a church service, maybe, but he's handicapped. You can watch the video yourself on there if you look it up on the YouTube, I'm sure. I can't remember his name or nothing, but he gets up there and he has a speech impediment, can't hardly talk. But he loves the Lord, you know. And he drags the leg and everything, does the limp and all this stuff. And what amazed me about something he said made so much sense. Because what made me cry was I seen the condition of this man, and I thought he's not embarrassed to do things for Jesus. Knew he couldn't talk well, knew he couldn't sing well, but he was willing to do it for the Lord. I mean, and I like that. We ought to have a heart to serve God. It ought not be about, the perfect musicians or the perfect, because we're not anyway. But anyway, what got me what he said, and here's what he said, and I'll try to quote it to the best of my ability. He stuttered when he spoke, though, and he said, God's got me in the oven. Okay, where's this going? Sounds kind of weird. He said, God's got me in the oven, and he said, he's working on me. He said, then into my life comes, he opens up the oven door, and he says to me, well done, thy good and faithful servant. I said, well, the way he presented that is wonderful. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And really, in reality, isn't that what God does to us?
Yeah.
He's kind of got us in the oven right now. I want to look at our story this morning, and there's 3 parts to this story, and I don't know that I'll get through all 3 parts. I may have to preach a message on 2 or 3 Sundays to get it all out, but I want to talk about it. First thing I want to talk about in our story is John the Baptist gets beheaded. The second thing I want to talk about in the story is Jesus feeds 5,000. And the third thing I want to talk about in the story is a boat trip during the storm. Now, I want you to see that Jesus, this all happens in a day, and Jesus has a catastrophe of a day. Now, we're going to read here in a minute, but I want you to get it. I want you to get it, so I got to tell you this before I read it, because I want you to really get it, okay? Now, as you read these accounts, I told my wife before this morning, when I was reading these accounts, I first understood what I thought was going on. And then for an hour, as I studied the scriptures, I had no idea what was going on. And then after the conclusion of an hour of studying, I come back to the same conclusion that I originally had. You ever done that? And the conclusion is that when John the Baptist is beheaded, they bring word to Jesus. John's disciples. Now, I thought, as this says, and couldn't fit it in the record where it actually happened. I said, well, this didn't actually happen right here. Maybe it happened in a backwards time, and they're just relating it here. Why didn't they put in there about John the Baptist being beheaded and imprisoned at the same time? Why would they do that? Well, as I get on to read it, I want you to understand as I read this because it'll help. It says that when his disciples buried the body, they come and told Jesus. And then it says, and as he heard, he departed. So that meant that even though that story may not look like it happened at that time, it did. And the thing that's interesting to me here, and I want to talk about this before I get to the message here, is that John the Baptist dies. He's beheaded in prison. He's beheaded because he's serving Jesus. He's doing God's work and God's will. He's the forerunner of Christ. And y'all know the story behind it. He's also Elizabeth and Zacharias' mother. Now, on the other hand, Joseph is already dead when Jesus begins his ministry. Now, I knew he was dead at the cross, but I know he's dead because when we find the story of the marriage in Canaan in John, what we find here, it says, and Mary came, in the marriage of Canaan, and his brothers and sisters came, and Jesus came, and Jesus' disciples came, but there was no Joseph. The baby's already gone. So here's your mother, a widow already, his brothers and sisters and his family, and instead of going to comfort his mom, instead of going to comfort his aunt or cousin or whatever she'd be to him, Brenda, tell you I'm not good with all that kinship. I know people's kin to me, but I don't know how, but you know, I can't figure all that out. They'll say, that's your second or third cousin. I said, they're my cousin, they're my cousin, I don't care which one they are, ain't number on them. But anyway, we find this situation, Jesus doesn't go. It bothered me at first. But then as we read the story this morning, I want you to see that when God ain't there, he's there. When you don't see God, he's still there. He's there through our troubles. He's there through our circumstances. And I want you to see in the end here, how does he fix this problem? All that's coming on, he's the Savior of the world. What does he do? He sends his disciples away and he goes up to a mountain to do what? To pray. He gets along with the Father. And sometimes when we get in these situations here, I know I ain't got my text yet, I'm already preaching, I apologize, but it's one of them days. He gets in a position where he's just in a relationship with the Father. Now there's an important thing about this. There's an important thing about praying alone. And the reason for it is, I'm going to tell you this. When somebody else is there, you might not say what you want to say. You know? My boy teased me the other day. He said, you learn to keep your mouth shut. And I said, yeah, most of the time. There's going to be a reaction, you know. I told my wife told me the other day, she got mad at me about something. She said, I'm not going to say nothing to you ever again. And I quarreled her about quarreling at me. And it wasn't 5 minutes later, she quarreled at me anyway. I said, look, you weren't going to say that. Well, I guess I lied. We have reaction. But when we get along with the Father,